Hello, everyone. This is the Easy Allies podcast. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us this week, Michael Huber.
Yo.
Ben Moore.
Hey.
Daniel Bloodworth.
Hello.
And making this all happen, Ian Hink.
Hi.
Let's visit the Desire Index, which has changed a lot since the last time you saw it, Huber.
Yeah, let me hear it.
I'll give you the top 5.
Last of Us #1?
No, dude. Last of Us.
What a throw.
Last of Us
It's gonna be a podcast.
is number 3. It's worse than you thought.
Okay.
Number 1 is Cyberpunk 2077.
You
Fair
can't
enough.
complain
Fair
about
enough.
that.
Fair
You can't
enough.
complain about that.
Number
Take
2 is Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Fair enough. Fair
And then
enough.
Last of Us Part 2 finds itself at number 3.
Okay.
Beneath that, Doom Eternal.
Hey,
And beneath that, Luigi's Mansion 3.
I like it.
can we make like proposals for things?
Not unless there's a new trailer. We can't move anything unless
What if
a new
there, what if
trailer
there are
and
new
news.
previews, which include new footage?
If it has new information, yes.
Yes.
You've learned something about Doom.
Not Doom.
Oh.
Astral Chain. I think Astral Chain deserves to be
You
up there
can't
more.
make proposals because that's what the comments do. That's what the patrons pay for.
I'm just saying
You're
it should
planting
be
the
on
seed.
there.
You're planting the seed for
Why
us.
does this got to be complicated?
All right, so this week's proposal comes from Bino, Astral Chain, because I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on it. And it's coming out relatively soon, August 30th. So I think since you're having the ally who will make the best case for it, namely Ben Moore, on
Yeah.
this week, this is the perfect opportunity to decide its placement. All right, Ben, where does Astral Chain fit? I assume you want it in top 5.
I do. I want it in top 5. I think if I get it in top 5 with the allies, that's a miracle.
Okay.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Just because I think I'm the only one that's like really amped on it. At least that's what I've been able to tell. That might be wrong. I don't know. But I was watching a good old Game Explain.
Oh, nice.
They had hands-on time with Astral Chain, and I do a lot of video game coverage. I can kind of tell how it goes. It's like, okay, I'm going to talk about these new features. This was what it was like to play. Blah blah blah. This is what I didn't like. It's not very often that you get people that are giddy and it feels super genuine and passionate. And like these guys were like, I wanted to take this home with me. I'm paraphrasing here, but it was like they're just really excited about, and I encourage people to go watch that preview because it made me more excited. And they talked about the combat and how interesting it was in the sense that there was a lot of depth, and there were even things like 3D platforming, but there was no jump button, and how you have to use this living weapon that you have. You kind of have to like whip it across in order to do navigation. And they were like, there's a lot to explore, which I was not expecting. And so a guy was saying like, hey, in Bayonetta, like, yeah, you can explore a little bit, but it's basically just essentially a pause in between fights. What you're doing is a sequence of fights through a level, and that's not how Astral Chain felt. Astral Chain felt like there was a lot to see, to the point where they like kept going after secrets, and the demo guy had to be like, okay, you found a secret, but you can't do that right now during this hands-on time. And so I think keeping that platinum combat, and they had nothing but praise for the combat, keeping that level of high quality, but expanding the game in a little bit in a way that makes sense and maybe makes it more exciting for people who aren't just there for the combat. I think this game's going to blow up. I think this game is going to review very well.
So previously on this podcast, our primary criticism, Ben, is that you have to play this game as good cops.
This is the cop game.
Kyle, that sounds so whack. I don't even know how to respond to it.
Are the main characters just good people?
I don't know. I don't think we're at a point in our without hands-on time and really being able to like listen to lines of dialogue being played out. I can't say like, I don't think good cop is inherently bad. I think you can have a good cop that is interesting. I don't think it is right with what we know in the game to be like, because you play as a good cop, it'll be boring.
Yeah, it's just if this game was starring 2 bad boys who also have stand robots, like it'd be number 1 on the Desire Index.
But who knows? Okay, so, I mean, if we're going to be this hypothetical about it,
Yes.
it's a platinum game. Like, literally anything could happen.
Yes.
Anything.
Yeah.
Nothing is off limits. And so these squeaky clean, good cops that you're worried about, they could become bad boys by like chapter 5.
Very true. There's the potential of bad boys.
There's potential of like anime bad boys.
Any game where we start off as a good guy, or like a good cop with a good organization, the organization turns out bad.
Yeah, they're sketchy.
Almost every single time.
Yeah.
So I have to believe our organization is behind some grander evil.
I mean, we're
I hope so.
enslaving living creatures and like making them fight alongside of us.
Right.
I'm not sure.
They're
They're gonna
robots.
question it. They're gonna
They're
question
not
their job.
robots.
Are they not
They're
robots?
like demons.
They're like ghosts. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like living weapons. I don't remember the exact terminology. I did know it at one point, but I don't remember the exact term for them. But they are like living beings. They're not robots, to my understanding.
I do feel misunderstood. A lot of people point to the hidden toilets and say, Kyle, you will love this game because there are hidden toilets. I love bathrooms.
Yeah.
I don't love toilets. You know what I mean? It's like, they're gross.
I mean,
Kyle,
they,
I think-
they
I think-
include all kinds of different. I'm pretty sure.
There's a
not
hidden
just,
bathroom?
There's not just one type of toilet.
I think they're all like porta potties, man. I think
I
they're
don't
all like,
think so.
okay.
I think the process of understanding people, Kyle, is
Yeah.
hard.
Yes.
And so I think when they point out that bathroom, you know, saying I like video game bathrooms, that's not maybe the easiest thing to understand. It's not that
Yeah.
it's bad. And so they're trying to understand you and form a connection. and
But they
it's-
just
it's
think like,
flawed.
oh, this must be some guy who loves toilets. I just like, what do you think of me? What kind of person do you think I am?
It's kind of like looking at Astral Chain and being like, those good
cops.
Good
Yeah.
mobs.
Yeah.
Ben, realistically, where we
Legion, I think, is what the
Yeah.
ghost machines
it's
are
a
called.
special type of living weapon.
Look at that
Yeah.
dude, Protoss.
It does look very Protoss. Ben, realistically, where are we placing this in our top 5? Is it above Doom?
So this is hard because I love both these things very much. But
Yeah.
I've played Doom Eternal, and these are games where how they feel is going to matter a lot to me.
Definitely. I think both.
And I have total confidence that Astral Chain is going to feel amazing, but I do not have the firsthand experience to back that up. Just because they've been weird about previewing Astral Chain,
Yeah.
which has been a little bit frustrating, but it's okay.
Game
And
Explain
so
got to do
I
it.
don't think I
Well,
could.
it's at Comic-Con.
Got it.
Yeah. I don't think I could confidently say it deserves to be above Doom Eternal, but I think even having played Luigi's Mansion 3, I would personally probably put it above Luigi's Mansion.
Blood's nodding.
Yeah, I think it's.
You think
fair.
it fits right in between Doom and Luigi's?
Yeah.
Huber?
Oh wait,
Feel free.
Doom is 6?
No, Doom is 4.
Okay, yeah, I think that's fine.
Feel free.
This would be our new number 5. Okay, there it is. We're locking it in. Everyone and Astral Chain was our most demanded edition, actually.
Huh.
More people want this added than anything else.
Is there an Abyssal Chain as well? Is that a game?
There's
Because I keep
what is
getting
the Ace Team game?
Astral Chain, Abyssal Chain, Code Vein. I get all these games confused, man. God Eater, like they're all just one game to me. I
Abyssal
can't.
Those
Chain
are all
is in Darksiders.
Very,
Yeah.
very different.
I don't know, man. When I think of Abyssal Chain, I can't. I only think of like when you said the cops.
Yes.
It's the only thing I take away from this game. It's the only thing I know about it.
Yeah.
So Kyle, I don't watch episodes of the podcast that I'm not on. I'm not just not. It's not a personal offense.
Yeah.
It's just. But I do look at the comments sometimes, and
Yeah.
I've seen the comments. It's kind of funny to like read the comments and try to think of like how you guys talked about Astral Chain.
Yeah.
Because some people act like you guys just took a crap on it, which is hard to. It just doesn't seem like something you do.
Last week, Damiani said like anyone who thinks that looks interesting is probably stupid. But he made a really good case for it.
I don't
You'd
believe
have
that he
to listen
said
to
that.
the episode.
Just kidding.
He made a really good case for it, and now I'm kind of convinced it's true. But on the other hand, today you've convinced me that it at least should be number 5 in our desire index.
Is this what happens when you're not on the podcast? You just say like, "Oh, hey, Huber said this."
Yeah.
Yep. Let's do corrections. Begin corrections music, please. Blood. You can play co-op through the entirety of Luigi's Mansion 3 as Guigi.
Nice.
Go nuts,
I thought
apparently.
they said that.
Well, I mean, I assume you have to unlock it first, the ability, right?
Sure, there's probably some part of the intro that you're not able. You only have to get Luigi first.
Yeah, so now I believe Guigi's probably like a really early unlock, and then you and your buddy just goo around. That's pretty cool. Scare Scraper mode is a whole other thing, so that does still exist, the competitive multiplayer mode. Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann is the title. Damiani got that one very wrong. Despite how critical he is of everyone else being stupid, he gets a lot wrong himself. In fact, Teppen means top as in the top of something. Teppen, you know what I mean? So it's
Okay.
like I'm the best. I'm on the top. You can definitely already share accounts on the Switch. Switches already let you do that. You just kind of like select yourself.
I was reading about it after I saw some of the corrections, and it's like okay, so you would, I guess theoretically you would have your docked Switch as the one that would have to connect to the internet and check off on things, and then your Switch Lite to be your primary, so you don't have to worry about that.
I guess the Lite would be your primary. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then lastly, this is just kind of a bummer update. Snatcher on the TurboGrafx 16 Mini is in Japanese. That's not going to be in English.
Yeah,
That's
that.
really
Maybe they'll patch it or
disappointing.
something.
Sure.
Need that.
Because they did. Remember they did that patch with the Konami or the Castlevania collection where they added the Japanese versions of the games.
This is a little physical console, dude.
Sure. Yeah.
That thing's
Yeah.
not getting patched.
Shiny
I-
police knots, man. English, let's go.
I'm a little
Yeah.
bit surprised with
Somebody will fan patch it though.
the flood of re-releases that a simple, kind of like a collection of Mana style, where it's like, hey, we put this in English and here it is. I could imagine that generating a lot of excitement for people.
Yep.
Especially in the absence of a new Metal Gear game.
Missed opportunity. And correction, music, please. Though you're right, they could just put Snatcher on the consoles as they just did all their recent releases. I'm playing Symphony in the Night right now.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
baby.
It's a good time.
Isn't that cool? I think it's just like, hey, buy this on PS4. I'm like, all right, okay.
Did you play
Yeah.
Bloodstained?
Best game ever.
Yep. That's
You-
what I got the thirst, dude.
Bitch.
Nice.
You know what's the
Yeah.
best about Symphony of the Night is like before that 360 version, like tracking down a PS1 copy of Symphony of the Night, not to mention like a Saturn version, like you just couldn't, it's out of reach.
I
Was it?
love stuff like
It
this.
was
Yeah.
very expensive.
It's
It's
very
funny because it was
expensive.
even got a greatest hits release.
That's funny.
And there's
I don't
digital.
even.
I have it on PS3 digital.
I mean-
PS1 Classic.
I guess I have to like use my own anecdotal evidence here, but like I wanted a copy of it and it was hard to track
Yeah.
down.
No, it's one of those things that's funny when it comes to that sort of thing, is because like a lot of my GameCube games are like, oh, this is worth a lot of money. I'm like, really? Okay. Like
Yeah.
I just didn't even.
yeah.
Well, I haven't been paying attention because I already got it when it came out, so I've been watching like what it would cost to buy.
And instead of putting those cool games on the Switch, they're like, hey man, how about Wrecking Crew?
I tried it, Ben.
Yeah.
I tried
Why?
20, maybe 20 seconds of Wrecking Crew before
Yeah.
I gave up on it.
Yeah.
And Donkey Kong 3, maybe 40 seconds.
the bug guy.
The bug game. What a miserable, stupid idea. This is Donkey Kong 3. What if he's just climbing up? Oh, man. It just makes me mad. It makes me so mad. What were they? What was your design document? I don't know. You just puff up some bug smoke. Like, what? This is a Donkey Kong game. Oh,
With things like Wrecking Crew and Urban Champion,
yeah.
they've like released those games multiple times.
Yeah.
And I don't want to play them.
Yeah.
Release the things that people want to play.
And we know Super Nintendo's coming. We know it's in their plans, and they're just holding off until the last possible moment. Okay, it's June. It's June of 2019. We're still in these months after E3 when things are a little dry.
They don't feel dry to me. That sounds crazy to me.
News-wise.
Okay.
You
All
know
right.
what I mean? Nobody's making an announcement 3 weeks after E3. Why didn't you just save it for E3? you know?
Gotcha.
So we're leading with the NPDs this week.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
We're starting to
spoiled
kicking
for
off
me,
with
though.
the NPDs. They've been spoiled by Huber.
I was on Friend Code.
Yep.
I know them all.
Nice thing is we go live before Friend Code, baby.
That's what Damiani was saying.
Yep. Gotcha.
But I won't cheat.
Well, no, tell me what number 1 was for June of 2019.
I'll give them a chance. What do you think number one was?
It was a new release.
June.
New release.
Yes.
June
It's an
2019.
obvious one. I didn't get it. I was bummed. Brad and I didn't get it. And it's staring you
There
right
were
in
two
the
big
face.
releases, and they're number 1 and number 2.
Yeah.
Releases of June.
I'm trying to remember what came
Mario
out in
Maker
June.
2?
Yes, yeah.
there we go.
Mario Maker 2 is number 1.
Yeah,
And
baby.
As always, keep that in mind that there's no digital included with NPDs.
That's awesome.
We
Well,
look
Nintendo's digital, right? The
Right,
other
right,
people
right.
have digital.
Exactly.
we rightfully look like idiots when we don't know that, but it messes you up so much because like the way that we have to work, we're not playing on a traditional release schedule. Like
Yeah.
sometimes we get things very last minute, sometimes we don't get them at all, sometimes we get them way early, and so it like really messes with your brain. Like when did that come out?
It felt like the last week that it came out.
Yeah. I just like the concept of time has
Yeah.
been destroyed.
So I think that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that It's what I always hoped for a Super Mario Maker. It was trapped on Wii U for a while. It was a very successful Wii U game, relatively, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, this is the most successful launch for a Mario Maker game. Because there was one on 3DS that I forgot about until
Right.
Matt Piscatello's tweets. And so I think that's kind of funny. But anyway, yeah, good for Mario Maker, doing it without digital, doing it, I think, pretty late into June. But again, these are the summer months where competition
from
isn't
reading
as
his
stiff.
tweets, do you think Piscatella is like a Nintendo fan, or is he just really excited that they're doing so well right now on the market?
He loves sales. He loves
He's a
people.
fan of sales.
He's a fan, of success. I think he's a fan of success. Like even like Blood last year when it was just like accessories, he was going wild because of
Okay.
how well accessories were doing.
So awesome.
I love that.
Yeah,
I'd love taking him to like a dinner party where you're just acquaintances with the people, and like somebody comes up to you like, hey man, like what? I don't know how to get this guy to open up. Talk about sales.
I truly think
Talk,
it would work.
Hardware
talk about
sales.
Oh, yeah.
talk about those accessories.
Whatever, yeah, or baseball. If you like, Huber would hit it off immediately with Piscatella.
Yep.
If the sales stuff doesn't work, if it's like, yeah, it's interesting. He's like, how about baseball, buddy? They'd be going wild. At Matt Piscatello with 1 T and Matt, worth following. He had just like anytime NPDs come out, he's got like just a series of tweets that give you all the information you would ever need. What's number 2? What was the second best-selling game in the U.S. for June? Also a new release that month. This game was announced in December at the Game Awards.
It's a big one. We played it.
I'm sure
We did play it
I'm
on stream.
sure,
We've played it.
This game was announced by a costumed character.
Oh, Crash Team Racing.
Yes, Crash Team
Oh.
Racing.
Crash Team Racing.
Yeah.
There we go.
Very nice.
Yeah. Crash Team Racing, Nitro Fueled, number 2. I think it's cool to see that
they're
do
on
well.
a streak with those, man.
Yes. The thing is, Blood, they're kind of out.
Oh, sure.
I think the next game's a new game.
Did you hear
Yeah.
the cool stat about it?
What's the cool stat?
The like highest, fastest selling Crash game of all time.
No,
That's what Damiani was saying. Yeah.
Wow.
Within like a certain window.
Yeah.
Like the number one.
I
it
actually
beat out in Insane Trilogy because that had the lead when that
Yeah,
one
it
came
did,
out.
totally, right.
And then now that beat that.
I think if they do a new game, they have done it in the like best possible way they could have. Where like if they had done it right after Insane Trilogy, I think it still would have done well, and there would have been goodwill built up from Insane Trilogy. But the fact that they've had this triple threat of like Activision putting out Insane Trilogy, Reignited, and now Nitro Fueled, like there's like no doubt anymore. And I think that you're going into a new Crash game or new Spyro game or whatever it ends up being, like this is going to be awesome. I can't wait to play it. And I don't know. I think there would have been some doubt before.
Yeah. It's like the Star Wars re-releases that happened in '97 before the prequels. It's just like getting this new generation pumped.
Right.
And what something I really like that they did with this game in particular is modernizing it. So Crash Team Racing as it was is totally in this game. You can totally play through the adventure mode as it was, but they added like strange little incentives to win races, to unlock skins, to unlock parts of cars. And so that's sort of the modernization of it. It's got a store that's like Fortnite, even though you can't buy currency, it does have rotating things that come in and out of the store. And so I think they did a great job of incentivizing online play of their season passes even. Now, what are they called? Battle passes.
Battle Pass.
There's a battle pass,
Oh my
seasonal
gosh.
battle passes in Crash Team Racing.
It actually worked on me because I didn't really have any interest in playing that game online.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, well, it's a daily goal. I'll throw in an online match. You don't have to win.
Fill up that meter of goo, right?
Yeah,
like
fill
you
up
got-
that meter. Yeah.
It's so weird, and it just works. It's cool to
works.
see a free battle pass, and it's cool. I think I don't see any negative to it. Like if you're just like the game was perfect as it was, it's still there. Like Crash Team Racing as it was is totally still in this game, and so it's just everything on top of it. I'm pretty impressed with this game's design. Really cool to see it successful. Number 3, what was that, Huber? Do you remember?
Is this a older one?
This is an older one. It's
I know GTA 5 was there.
I'll give you a hint. I'll give
Because
you a
it
hint.
always is.
This
Oh, I
is-
know this one.
Okay, what
This is a Ben Moore joint.
is it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Maybe it's number 3.
all right.
I know it's massive this year.
Yeah, it's a massive game this year.
Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat number 3.
Can we give the stat about that right now?
Yeah, I'm curious if you remember this.
Highest selling game of 2019, Mortal Kombat 11.
Yes. Yeah. It is still number 1 of 2019.
It's
Crazy?
It is
Mortal
crazy.
Kombat 11.
Yeah.
I'm very surprised by that.
Yeah.
Number
Oh,
1.
I mean, Mortal Kombat X like sold a ridiculous amount. Like
Yeah.
the love for Mortal Kombat is high, and it's nice to see like because they had kind of a release funk, I guess is a way to describe it, but they seem pretty well out of that. Like Shang Tsung, like just
Oh yeah.
the excitement around the new characters, I guess, seems pretty high, and now they're going into Evo, so cool.
There are 2 Mortal Kombat games that have sold more than Mortal Kombat 11. What are those?
Mortal Kombat X and Mortal Kombat 9.
Mortal Kombat X is one of them.
And
The next one
Deadly
will,
Alliance.
The next one will surprise you.
Deadly Alliance.
It's not Deadly Alliance.
Deception.
Nope.
2.
Nope.
Armageddon.
No.
Okay, I give
One?
up.
Mortal Kombat versus DC.
No.
Oh, Injustice 2.
No.
No, that doesn't count.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
I was shocked by this. Mortal Kombat 3.
Oh.
Yeah. Really
That's
though?
shocking. That's shocking.
Maybe because it was released so many times, it was like
Yeah.
trilogy and all that.
It's
Like
right
maybe
around
Yeah.
that
those.
cross-gen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like, and this was when I was a child, but like, I was like, oh, I want to play Mortal Kombat, and my options were like Mortal Kombat trilogy, and so I wonder if it's a consequence
Sure.
of that.
I would have sworn it was 2. I would have
I mean,
sworn.
trilogy wouldn't
yeah.
have counted for 3 sales, but yeah, I think they probably
It
had
would be its own game, you think?
I think there's probably a standalone on PlayStation, if I'm correct.
I think there's gold. I think they had 3 gold at one point.
Yeah.
4 gold. 4 gold was on like Dreamcast.
Trying to remember like
MK
the
Gold.
way different versions of old fighting games released, and like
fruitless.
how it is. It
PS1
it drives me
though, for
insane.
sure. MK3 was definitely on PS1.
Yeah.
That's all I remember.
So that, Super Nintendo, and Genesis, for
Yeah.
sure. And Saturn probably wouldn't have contributed too much to it.
Jeez.
Um,
And then 4 was on Dreamcast and N64.
yeah.
4 was on N64. I knew it was on Dream because I think 4 Gold was on Dreamcast.
Ben,
Yeah.
you got to see the N64 cutscenes,
Yeah.
dude. They're so.
Oh, I
funny.
think I have. Yeah.
They're just.
Are you talking about like the Jax cutscene?
One that's like, Halloween!
Yeah.
Yeah. You remembered GTA 5, number 4.
Always there.
Number 5, Minecraft. I don't know, dude.
Always
I don't
there.
know. No idea at this point. Smash Bros, number 6. Spider-Man back in the top 10.
Nice.
Became the best-selling superhero game in the U.S. of all time.
I wonder. So like, PewDiePie, for instance, has been doing a lot of Minecraft videos. I wonder if that moves the needle at all. Just somebody of like that scale.
Didn't he? I feel like he got Skate on the top 10 at one point, or at least top 20.
That sounds familiar. I
Yeah.
know he was like doing some,
Huh.
Skate 4 jokes. So.
I legitimately thought that Minecraft was on its way out, but like it just keeps peeping back
For
up.
sure.
It just keeps peeping up.
I think that the YouTube scene for Minecraft like has not gone down. I was seeing like some stats and like videos 3 days ago have 50 million views, and it's just like that's just like happening for the people who do that.
I think I saw Mari do one just like the other day, too.
Oh.
Remember Mari from Smosh Games?
Yeah. She's still doing Minecraft stuff.
Do I?
You do.
You do.
Okay.
You do. You definitely do.
Yeah, so I guess because of the release of Far From Home, Spider-Man
Yep, that's what I was saying.
peeked back in there. Yep.
Number 10's my favorite. Let's get there.
Okay, so number 8, NBA 2K19, Huber's other favorite. Number 9, Mario Kart 8.
I realized, man, I need to get
Mario
back onto
Kart.
the NBA 2K reviews because I think 2K19 was like number 2 or 3 selling of 2019
Man, Mario
all-
Kart,
that whole time.
Yeah.
Mario Kart
So
and Grand
huge.
Theft Auto are not video games. They're just
Same with NBA. Same with NBA
they're
2K.
they're just these institutions.
They're
where, like,
phenomena.
Yep.
What's number 10? What was your favorite?
On the list. Days Gone.
Still in the top 10.
That's good.
that's
Really?
really
Gets
good.
me
That's
so
That is
hyped.
really
Yeah.
good.
Like no better example of just like, yeah, I didn't really hear good things, but I'll give it a shot. Oh, like some people like it, some people don't. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like everyone who gave that game a chance walked away pumped.
Yeah, I think there were a lot of. I think it had pretty decent word of mouth depending on where you looked.
Yeah.
I think it came out at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is in the right genre of game that appeals to a very wide amount of people.
Yeah.
I bet it feels good to be Sony banned.
I bet it
'Cause
feels
the
great to be
reviews- I bet it
Sony
feels
I was
back.
pretty
looking today, man. The Metacritic is a 71.
Tell me about
And
it.
it just seems so. It just seems so low for that game.
It's not
man.
right, dude. They were hard on it, man.
That game is so good.
I think those reviewers got to go back and visit those reviews again, pump them back up.
Days
I
Gone.
wonder-
It
I wonder-
sounded like it's a game that's too long, but
I wonder if
I haven't got to play it
a
myself
little
yet.
too long. Sure.
I wonder if
I will go with that.
I wonder if the disconnect is like the people that are buying this game are probably not playing as many games and open world games as reviewers are, maybe in
Sure.
some instances, and so
Less fatigue.
yeah, a lot of the audience has less fatigue, and so it's not as I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm
Good
just curious.
perspective.
I'm just interested to know why.
Really good perspective. I like it.
It's like a funny point. Like too long works in a review, doesn't work against sales. There's no sales basis for saying if a game is too long, it will sell worse.
Right.
All too long games just sell great.
Yeah, I mean, because
Right.
we know people don't finish games anyway.
Yeah.
So
They
you
just
just
play
look
it
at
till
the
I'm
trophy
bored.
list and
Yeah.
see what the percentage
A
is.
lot of people are just looking for a good weekend, man.
Hubert, do you remember what's number 2 of 2019?
2 of 29. It was something.
It's a game that came out this year, big game.
Bubsy Revenge of the Woolies.
No, it's
Was
not
it
even on
MK?
the
Was
top
it
10.
MK11?
actually.
Is that even the title of the
It's not in
game?
the top 10.
Was it MK?
MK's number 1. You
Number
already
one,
told
that's
us
right,
that.
That's right.
Yeah. So number 2 would obviously be
Mario Maker.
No.
Minecraft. No, it came out.
You walk away.
Kingdom
Yes.
Hearts.
It is Kingdom Hearts 3 is number 2 for the year.
Awesome. Culmination.
What is the best-selling game in the Kingdom Hearts franchise?
It's got to be 3.
It's 3
Yeah, it's got to be 3.
already, though. I'm a little floored by that. I'll be straight up honest with you because
Kingdom Hearts 3 was an event.
I'm not surprised in the least anymore in the last couple years when games are like, oh, it's the number 1 selling game in the franchise, because I feel like that just keeps happening over and over because there's just so many consoles, so many ways to get the game.
I think there are a lot of comparisons you can make between Avengers Endgame and Kingdom Hearts 3.
Right.
Sure.
Well, I think.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think it's just one of these things that, like, not only did you have people waiting this long for Kingdom Hearts 3 and getting tired of the, non-sequels coming around,
Yeah.
but throughout that time, because of all those things, because of all the remasters and all the re-releases, like, that audience just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And so then once Kingdom Hearts 3 is like, we're all here at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah,
The
that is really
best.
interesting. I like myself included. It was always interesting. Like before Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, and I would see, at least like 1 or 2 people like catching up playing 1.5, 2.5.
Took me years,
So.
but just in time, dude. Got caught up.
But I mean, just like we just talked about Mortal Kombat 3 still being one of the best Mortal Kombat selling.
Yeah,
it's like,
that shocks me.
And so yeah, I guess that is really the outlier as opposed
Yeah.
to Kingdom Hearts being the best-selling Kingdom Hearts game.
Gosh.
Really wild to me though. It's cool. Hey, I mean, 6 months in, it's already
Yeah.
there.
But
I
I think in a weird way, it is because they kept it alive, so to speak, right?
So true.
Like
Yeah.
we're continually cultivating new fans.
Like Kingdom Hearts 2 came after Kingdom Hearts 1, but like when Kingdom Hearts 2 came out, like it wasn't that big. Like it was big, but I don't feel like it was this.
And it was only
this-
like a year or 2 later, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It
feel like
still felt like kind of like a cult classic when it first came out. I don't know.
I feel like when we look at developers and like how well they succeeded this generation, I think like NetherRealm has to be at the top of the list in terms of people that just like had successive games that hit really hard and sold really well and appealed to a very wide audience in a genre that typically doesn't. I don't know.
They make a lot of mistakes, but they
They
just
do.
sell like crazy.
Well, they make a lot of mistakes, but they're pushing in areas that other people aren't pushing in, or succeeding better in areas that other people aren't succeeding in. So
Dude, the Mortal Kombat 11 music is really good.
It is pretty good.
I like it. a
there's
lot.
some cool
like
choices
the main menu
for sure.
theme I really like. Goro's Lair is my favorite song.
I got a little annoyed. They sent me like what I thought was I thought they sent me the soundtrack,
Yeah.
and then I went and clicked on it, and like it ended up just being a PDF of like the track list for the soundtrack.
What a tease.
What's
That's
your
really
name?
funny.
Chronestra?
Chronica.
Yeah.
Her theme's really good.
Yeah.
Chronica.
All right, so number 3 is Division 2. I think that should be expected as well. Number 4 is Anthem. Just like, hey, if you have enough marketing dollars, you're going to get a top.
Watch Dogs 1 situation with Anthem.
Yeah.
Just so hyped pre-release. Everyone bought into it. Everyone bought it. And then just dropped it.
Yep.
Like,
Anthem feels like it came out 3 years ago.
It really does.
I mean that. Like,
As I was scouring for headlines, I saw one on Game Informer that just said, like, Anthem's The Cataclysm is coming soon.
out. Yep.
Will it bring anybody back? And I just like, I bet nobody's clicking on this article, man. Like, did you click?
Right,
okay,
yeah.
great.
I was like, what's going on in Anthem? Let me know. Let's hear it. I
Well,
guess,
what's happening? What's going on?
The Cataclysm event is coming. There's going to be a few more quests. They're having like a... It's like... They're having a pre-Cataclysm event to like have hype for it. So it's like this 2-week period, like pre-launch Cataclysm event, like just trying to like build it up and hype it up. But you know, all the comments aside from like the hey, people still play this, there were like some constructive comments of like, hey, you know, like you guys you took a little too long on this. Like, sounds pretty cool, but I've just moved on. Like that was the general consensus.
yeah, I wonder what the time period is between like being super burned out on the game and how long you're willing to give it before you're just like, not personal, but just never again.
Yeah.
Like I wonder what the time frame is like in a general sense.
Probably depends too what's like in your backlog at the time. Like, I moved on.
Well, and the other thing is like, it just doesn't feel like at least for me, there are any dry periods. So it's like, if there was a 3-month dry period, I had nothing to play or nothing that I wanted to play, I'd be like, well, I might check out Anthem, but it's like...
And in a weird way, I think it's normally to a game's advantage that you can play with friends, but I think with Anthem, you have to convince your friends to come back too.
I feel like when you play Anthem with your friends, you just complain about Anthem, which is a really interesting thing.
What's interesting is like other games like No Man's Sky or Sea of Thieves that had like little renaissances after a big failure of a launch.
Yeah, it could happen.
Like, I think that the messaging and scale of your fixes is really important, but also like the market space. Like, like No Man's Sky is unique in a lot of ways. Certainly, Sea of Thieves is. Like, if you want to play Anthem, just play Destiny 2. Yeah. Like, and I think that they're not going to get over that hurdle. Like, even if they went back to the drawing board like crazy, you know, it's kind of a bummer.
I completely agree with Ian.
Yeah.
Destiny for sure, but the expansion I know is coming out. That's going to be like $40. But at the same time, it's going to be a really lot of cool stuff for Destiny.
Your friends will be playing it. Mm-hmm. It's the hardest part. Yeah, and from what I understand, it's a way smaller crew working on Anthem. I do not envy that position at all.
Here's a question for you though, Kyle.
Give it to me.
Number 4 game. Mm-hmm. Is Anthem a success?
No. I think EA has outright said like we're not happy with Anthem right now.
Okay. Even at number 4.
Even at number 4, that's what's crazy is because like that number of sales isn't enough for the investment they put into it.
Yeah, they had.
And you have to imagine the drop off is just crazy.
Well, it's crazy too. You look at that, right? Number 4 on the list.
Yeah.
Is Resident Evil 2 on this list?
It's next actually. I was going to ask you that.
Number 5.
Yes.
You look at the differences of like hype there. Yeah. Just the reception and like, you know, Resident Evil 2 it had a little bit of DLC, but like for a couple months everyone was just, you know, all about Resident Evil 2, and then Anthem was like, oh week.
I wonder if it's just one of those things where, like we were saying, like it is, you have to get your friends in on it. And so like there are a lot of people that were excited enough to convince their friends or to maybe buy their friends an extra or something.
I've done that to Brad over the years so many times, so I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Well, and also like EA, they were accounting for Anthem to be an ongoing moneymaker, right? So
Yeah.
a good opening
probably.
week is not going to do it.
True.
Whereas with Resident Evil 2, they just need that
initial
pure sales, and they're great. Yeah.
I do feel like this generation has instilled something in me that I didn't have in quite the same way, and it's not exclusive to this generation. Like you can make this case for like other genres, with like MMOs in the past or something. But everything seems like it needs a buy-in now. Like it's like, hey, we're making this game, and here's our roadmap. And when you just have so many of those that just like blow up and fail, it's hard to get more excited about the next one, or like be like, oh, I'm gonna play that for a year.
You know what I did though?
What did you do?
so I'm with you on that. It's like less exciting to get back into those games like in the future.
Yeah.
So I went back. Path of Exile, Ben. I
Yeah.
started playing.
But
Because
that's
there's like no BS now because the game's been out for so long.
Right.
So they have their events and it's just like, yo, Path of Exile, free to play, hop in, have fun, cool.
I think that mentality is a little bit different though, where it's like Path of Exile is an established success,
Yeah.
and so you have this like trust of it. But I guess what I mean is I feel like in the past, and this could just be my mind playing tricks on me, the idea that a developer would come out and say like, hey, we're going to support this game for a year. Look at how much this is going to change. Like that would, just the way that they would talk about it would fill you with excitement and hope and be like, oh man, it's crazy that you can do this to a video game now. And in the current landscape, it's the exact opposite, where like as soon as you hear the word roadmap, you're like, oh boy,
Here we
what
go.
is it gonna be like at launch? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it is changed a little bit, and you're kind of leery of the longevity of things.
Well,
and
the argument, which I'm not really a fan of, but the argument that you're buying an incomplete game, essentially.
no, but I mean like you are a lot of times. Like a
Right.
lot of these games are incomplete. Like it's super naked, and they may never come out and say that it's an
I
incomplete
think
game.
Anthem is the best example of that. But there
Sure.
are also plenty of games that like have the roadmap ideal, and they're perfectly fine when they come out too.
I was
Yeah, it's a
speaking.
case by case thing.
I was speaking with a friend of mine about why this happens because he was telling me a story about a different developer who was having issues where like their publisher was like, we got to get this thing out, and they're like, it's not done, it's gonna suck, and the publisher's like, we need to get it out. And I was like, why does anyone ever do that? And he was saying like, well, you know, shareholders, like to them, like a bad fiscal year looks really bad, and it's really bad for the company and all this kind of stuff, you know, and it's just like such a different mentality than like, you know, because like realistically, if it weren't panic driven, like quality content every couple of years is better in the long run, you know?
Yeah.
But like it just doesn't work that way, and like that was a really scary kind of
Yeah, it's depressing.
discussion. And I was like, oh yeah, you're totally right. It was weird. Also, I just got an idea for like a sketch or something.
Okay.
Pitch
Pitch it.
Well, shoot, we can just do it. But I'll just do it for an easy update maybe. But like
Okay, pocket it.
a company doing a roadmap, but it's like brutally honest, where like the roadmap is like, here's the release. Here's when you all realize this game isn't really living up to what we advertised it to be. Here's the panic stage. Here's where we come back to the drawing board and it just doesn't work, you know? Like,
Here's the
like,
Polygon article.
Here's the Polygon article that
Here's where
begged
we
for
turn
them
it into a battle royale.
Yeah, that doesn't work. Here's where we come back to free to play.
Here's
Yeah.
where we joke about it on an E3 stage.
Yeah. Garnering no goodwill.
Hey, it works.
I'll contact Gus Johnson. And we'll
Shoot
move
it. We do have bad news with the NPDs.
Oh.
So, software sales up. We're at 2.6 instead of 2.5 year to date, ending in June. At the end of June, I mean. However, hardware sales down.
Everyone,
Of course they are.
already. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Of course,
got
what?
'em all.
Of course.
I mean, the next generation is looming.
Yeah.
Like, do you really want to buy in on a console now when you can just wait?
And it is the PS4 and the Xbox One hurting the most.
Yeah.
Switch is still defeating both of those. And so yeah, it is those two suffering more.
Misleading.
Why?
Switch is catching up. It's a better way to put it.
Okay, the Switch is catching up to the PS4 and Xbox
There
One.
it is. Yep.
Despite launching 4 years later, it's
It's getting there. It's got a long way to go.
misleading.
It did pass PS4 in Japan though, right? I thought I saw that.
Oh,
Brutal.
Gotcha.
Last headline I remember is Wii U, that it passed Wii U pretty quickly, right?
Oh,
But
yeah.
wow, PS4 Japan.
I could be wrong on that.
I would
so you can
love-
fact check me on that one, but
Here to be in like a shareholder meeting, and like that news is delivered in the way that you would expect it to be like, we have surpassed the PlayStation 4 in Japan. Just some random suit goes, gotcha!
It was Doug Bowser, man. Here's a special chair. He just leans back and says, "Gotcha." So yeah, I was like, I was under the presumption that this was going to be the year of the PlayStation 5 for a long time. And I think that this is right. We're in this period where, it was like, why would they? That'd be stupid. Like, they're breaking records every year. And like, we hit it. We hit where they're not breaking the record anymore. They have slowed down. And so it is scary to think that there's another 16 months of lower hardware sales ahead of the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One.
Yes, as of May, the Switch has sold more than PS4 in Japan.
Wow. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think they have to. I mean, with no presence at E3, they have to know what they're doing, and like they must have a plan in place. But like, yeah, it's gonna dip.
Yeah,
It'll be fine.
you can only put out so many special edition consoles to try to get people to double dip and all that stuff.
That Death Stranding special edition console.
Yeah, man.
It's still a
gonna be
weird
pro.
strategy.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it has to work, but it's just such a strange thing to me. Like, the person that wants to buy this doesn't have a PS4 yet. Like, yeah.
Collectors.
Bet. Will the PlayStation 4 edition of Death Stranding look gross?
No, it's gonna look really clean.
All right, I say gross.
I hope
Okay.
it's like intentionally gross. Like it has like strands of weird black.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
going
it's
to
gonna
be
look cool.
disgusting.
I think it's gonna be
dude.
It's
so
like,
clean.
It looks like it just rose out of a swamp.
It's gonna be like black and gold and awesome.
No, it'll be
Okay.
it'll be a light, like a medium dark gray with black vertical lines on it that aren't all the same length.
It just has this smell that you can't pin down.
Oh, I would love that.
And
when it
and,
turns on, yeah, just
and they never advertise it, and so it's just like sitting in your apartment or house or wherever you live, and you just have a friend come over to hang out, and he's like, why does your place smell like a baby?
Huber, loser has to make a 3x3 watercolor painting. 3 inches. 3-inch by 3
Wait,
inch. Just a tiny little
Did you
thing.
guys bet
Loser?
something?
Yeah.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
What was the bet?
Whether
Right now.
the edition will look gross or not.
Who decides if it
yeah,
looks
I was
gross
just
or
gonna say,
good?
Well,
We'll
Who's the
know.
judge?
We'll know.
We'll know, okay.
We will know.
But we'll also have judges.
Yeah, okay.
Damiani.
Yeah.
No. Ian. Ian will be the judge.
Okay.
Ian will be very
I'll
impartial.
judge it fairly.
The
Yeah.
judge of art. Okay.
sure.
I'm cool with that. Yeah, okay. And so I don't think we need to, if the panel feels that way, like, hey, obviously, like, I don't think we need to, like, pound on that statistic further. Yeah, like, it's just time. It's time for next gen, and I guess this does always happen, that slowness at the top of the hill. But yeah, I just thought this would happen not so close to long consoles release. We still have a long time before those new next gen comes.
Yeah.
It's gonna go quick.
Okay.
It's gonna go quick.
All right.
The
need that-
next gen we are knocking on the door.
We need that PSX.
Yes,
we
we
need
do.
it.
We need that.
PSX 2019.
It is needed.
We need it.
We're going to do a really quick segment. It's called Name Something Cooler. Last week in Fortnite, a giant robot bear arose from its plant in the volcano to battle a giant monster. And we're talking giant. We're talking fully scaled Gundam Kaiju battle. Live. This all happened to everybody who was on the island at the same time. It was like 4 or 5 minutes long fighting, just coming in, falling off the side, coming back in, battling out, pulling a sword out of a place that's been there this whole time, just like really cool things like that, defeating it, and now there's a giant monster skeleton on the map. Panel. Name something cooler.
That happened in the last week.
No.
Oh,
That
just
happened in
cooler.
any video game. Name something cooler than that.
It has to be in a video game.
Yeah.
The existence of human life. Oh, in a video game?
Yep, in the video game.
Oh.
I got one immediately.
Okay.
Go for it.
When Big Boss schools Ocelot and shows him how to eject the bullet out of the handgun.
Nope. Next.
I think you could name several moments from Metal Gear Solid 3 that work. Okay, all right. So I haven't seen this Fortnite thing.
Mm-hmm.
The end of Bayonetta would have to be cooler.
Nope. Next. Ben, this happened live. This happened live for everybody who was playing. They all got to see this thing happen at the same time.
I don't care about other people. I care about me.
Because here's what's so weird. Here's why I bring this to the podcast in the first place. When the stupid rocket launch happened, I was amazed.
You know what? I got it. Something that happened in a video game. You cannot.
Okay.
Even in your bittiest of bits, you
Yes.
cannot say that
Yeah.
this was cooler. The Daigo parry at Evo is cooler than this Fortnite thing.
Touche.
Straight up.
Golden
Has to
Touche.
be.
Yes.
All right.
So now, whenever we do the segment in the future, it will have to be, is this cooler than the Daigo
And the
berry?
answer will always be no. The answer will always be no.
Because I couldn't think of a cooler thing, really, but like I'm not excited about it.
Yeah.
Fortnite has gotten to this place where they're amazing so frequently that this awesome thing that happened is like, oh, cool.
Kyle, you like before the podcast, I was like, yeah, I respect Fortnite. I just don't care about it. It's just a personal thing. And you were describing it, and it sounds so cool.
Yes.
It really does sound so cool. And I just don't care.
Yeah. It's
And
so
it's
weird.
weird.
I
It's
can't
weird.
define it.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, I'm seeing Fortnite toys at the drugstore now. I'm just like, what's happening?
You think that might be part of it? Where, like, things just start to feel a little invasive?
Yeah.
Like, I got that way with Star Wars, where it's like, I like Star Wars, but, like, it doesn't need to be everywhere. I don't need my grocery store being all brand. Like, it just, I think sometimes you just get to a point where it's just so much stuff. There's like, no, this is uninvited.
Mm-hmm.
I think Fortnite needs a change of scenery, big time. I think of Marvel, and it's like, you were saying, you're all saying, I've seen too much Fortnite.
Oh, we're talking Phase 4 right now?
And it's like, Marvel had like 20-something movies, but they went to different places.
They're all
had
very
different
different.
tone, different like so much different stuff going on all the time.
Thor Ragnarok.
Where it's like Fortnite is like, yeah, they make some changes on the map here and there, but it's like, no, we need a refresh.
Yeah.
I'd rather take fewer updates that are way more dramatic than just like the constant new weapon, new item, taking this weapon away, bringing this weapon. Like, oh, we're going to add a little igloo over here. Like, no, just give me a few huge changes, because I think that would address the crunch that has been going on at Fortnite.
Yeah.
And also, I think it would just kind of have those refreshes for the game and those resets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm surprised they didn't do? I'm surprised they didn't do a Stranger Things tie-in where there was like a upside down version of the entire map.
They had Stranger Things. Yeah, they had the portals, like slime portals all over the map.
Oh yeah.
And the Thinks Ahoy, what is it?
And they had Hopper.
Scoops Ahoy.
Scoops Ahoy.
Hopper skin.
Right, but the whole map didn't go upside down.
An upside down map is a really good idea.
That would have been cool. Yeah.
Like a shadow realm.
That would have been
Twilight.
sick.
So
They should have crunched harder and made that happen.
Yeah, crunch harder, guys.
Fortnite can partner with anything in the world that it wants to. It can be anything.
Yeah.
I want it to be something that, like, hurts them or, like, doesn't make any sense. Like, oh, guys, they're going to announce something with Fortnite. You see that Deadly Premonition crossover? Like, just something so wild.
It's like the season of Jane Austen.
Yeah.
The whole season, man. You know, like...
Or, like, playable Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
do it. I don't know. Oh, you all hear that? It sounds like it's podcast halftime!
The following are the official sponsors of Easy Allies for the month of July. Uniqlo, a Japanese fashion brand aiming to change the world through the power of clothing. With a focus on high quality and innovative textiles, Uniqlo is redefining everyday clothing by increasing the functionality of your wardrobe at an affordable price. They call it Lifewear Made for All. Visit uniqlo.com/EZA to check out their collections, including new graphic t-shirt collaborations with Blizzard, Marvel, Street Fighter, Monster Hunter, and many more. That's uniqlo.com/EZA. Car Keys Express. If you need a replacement car key or a remote, check out carkeysexpress.com/store. Use the coupon code EZA at checkout for free shipping and 10% off of your order. They are proud sponsors of Easy Allies. Hogue Law Business Law Firm. Whether you're starting a business at level 1, stuck fighting the dreaded fundraising boss, or finally cashing out with a well-earned high score, you need a good business lawyer at your side. Or at least that Good Business Lawyer's YouTube and podcast series, Virtual Legality. This week was a big one in Virtual Legality, with Hogue analyzing the Nintendo Joy-Con lawsuit, Ubisoft's continued forays into crowdsourced asset production with Hit Record, whether Kickstarter can pull down fully funded campaigns, and even more. Check it all out at youtube.com/HOEG Law or on your favorite podcast service. Our gifted sponsor is the Able Gamers Foundation, a nonprofit charity that aims to improve the overall quality of life for those with disabilities through the power of video games, creating opportunities that enable play in order to combat social isolation, foster inclusive communities, and improve the quality of life for people with disabilities. The link to donate is in the description. L. Thanis. And our mega sponsor, ViewSonic. You probably know ViewSonic is the California-based company that's been one of the world's leading monitor providers for the past 30 years. Now with ViewSonic Elite, they're bringing gamers an expansive line of professional gaming monitors. Whether you want to play like the pros on the esports stage or become immersed in the action set in front of you, ViewSonic Elite has you covered with a range of powerful specs and minimalist designs that are a tasteful addition to any modern PC setup. Learn more about ViewSonic Elite, new product releases, and upcoming giveaways on social media by following @ViewSonic Gaming or visiting viewsonic.com/elite. All of these links are available in the description. Thank you to our sponsors.
Thank you, sponsors. This next story, as Ben said before we started recording, when I was running down what we're about to talk about, hits close to home. Mm-hmm. This one hits me personally. Because just last week, Kotaku.com, give them credit, finally reported on Joy-Con drift. So, if you're not familiar with what that would suggest, let me just tell you what was happening to me. I was playing Mario Maker 2, making a level. But this one's going to be great, I said. This is a cool idea. Suddenly, Mario just starts floating up. And I'm like, what's this about? And so I take my analog stick, I push him down, like, no, Mario, we're right here right now. I'm building a level. And then he goes right up again. Just whoop. And I said, this is Joy-Con drift. I understand it now. Basically, it's your Joy-Con just kind of takes itself in its own direction digitally. Physically, it's still there. Physically, it's standing still. But digitally, it's just kind of like gooping up forward in just the strangest little digital way. It's like it's not reading something wrong. There is a little gremlin in here pushing my analog stick forward metaphysically. And so this has been an issue. This is an issue for a lot of Joy-Cons. I think I'm the only among Easy Allies who has ever had Joy-Con drift.
Ian had it.
I've had it. I thought it was because I had extra Joy-Cons in my bag and they were getting bumped.
I don't think that's it.
But I have 4 Joy-Cons and I don't use my crappy blue one anymore, so maybe I do have it and I just don't use that one.
Yeah.
So I've had a weird thing that still happens every once in a while where, like, I'll be on the Switch menu and it'll just be, like, going left and, like, it'll just be stuck in that direction and I can't get it to move. I don't know if that's Joy-Con drift or what it is.
Mine's usually right, yeah.
Yeah.
That to me sounds like just kind of like the old school problem with when analog sticks first came out, to where, like, if you're holding the stick
when you turn it on,
then it thinks
like
that's
N64
center.
did that all the
N64
time?
classic.
Yeah.
It's funny. So they had, in a more recent update, you can actually recalibrate your analog sticks. It's supposed to fix the drift, and it totally doesn't. But it's just like, hold it up. And, like, when I'm doing these things, I can, like, physically see the dot of the directional, and you can actually just watch it kind of just goop up forward. So Kotaku had their article just saying, hey, this is a problem with a lot of people. Then they had a follow-up article later on in the week that said, like, a lot of people are breaking their controllers trying to fix this. And so they actually got a response from Nintendo. I believe this was earlier this week. And by the way, thank you, Kotaku. You know, using Kotaku's power for good. Like, you know what I mean? I don't think they would have gotten this response from Nintendo if they weren't writing their articles. Here's Nintendo's response. At Nintendo, this is from Kotaku's article, we take great pride in creating quality products, and we are continuously making improvements to them. A representative from Nintendo told Kotaku in response questions about Joy-Con drift. We are aware of recent reports that some Joy-Con controllers are not responding correctly. We want our consumers to have fun with the Nintendo Switch, and if anything falls short of this goal, we always encourage them to visit http://support.nintendo.com so we can help. End of statement.
It's an entirely non-answer. Yeah.
We always want everybody to be having fun, and if you're not, go to support.nintendo.com. It's like
I want them to get in, like, an online chat with a representative and just say, I'm not having fun, fix it.
Yep.
Yeah. Just about, like, life stuff. I'm at work right now.
And this Kotaku's article is good because it also mentions that up until recently, the guide on their page said, like, hey, if you're having Joy-Con drift, do this stupid patch. Go and recalibrate it, which doesn't work. And I think they even know now that doesn't work. And now it just says, send this in for repairs. If you're not under warranty like myself, that's a $40 repair, which I will not pay.
Wait, yeah, they're still at a $40 repair.
40
Yeah.
bucks.
Then just, yeah, like, you might as well just buy a new one.
That's why it's the
but like Blood,
lamest thing.
I don't want to. I don't want to buy another product that I
Right.
know will eventually drift. That just there's
I
no
mean,
way
I
to
think that's
stop it.
the issue. Like they've got to either go outside of warranty, or I don't know. Like I don't think there's any other solution. They've got to like get these things sorted out.
I don't think they will. The best we can get is when these new models come out that they've kind of under the table fixed them.
Right.
Kyle, so you're not spending this $40.
I'm not.
You are making this choice.
Right.
What is that $40 going to go to in your life?
Cool, better games, dude.
Give me one. Give me,
Games.
tell me where that money's going.
So
Astral Chain.
when I just got Symphony of the Night, dude, when I just got that recently, that was
Yeah.
$13, man.
Hey, you have
That was on sale,
20.
dude.
Wait, you have $27 left over.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
It's just like, and it does, man, I had to buy one of those Nintendo vouchers, $100 to buy 2 games, so you end up saving $20. It still feels bad to buy a video game thing for $100.
Yeah.
But, that'll be, what was that? Mario Maker 2 and Fire Emblem, probably. So that mean like, yeah, dude, yeah. Oh, it was Marvel, dude. I bought Marvel recently, so I'm spending a lot of money on Switch games. So it's Mario 2, Marvel, Fire Emblem, Luigi's Mansion, Pokemon. I'm just gonna be
Symphony
buying a
of
lot of
Night.
$60 Switch games, you know, and it's just they're so expensive, and just like I can't justify $40 for repairing a Joy-Con.
Right,
that could
'cause
just
you're-
break again.
Yeah, and I guess it sounds like the compromise that you're making is just I'm gonna play this on my TV,
Yeah.
and that
Right,
I'll,
yeah,
I'll just deal
When
with
they
it.
repaired, they
Stocked.
gave you 90-day warranty after that.
Right, I think you get another warranty, but as the Kotaku article says, a lot of people, they get them back, and just within months, they just break again. They just drift again. Lost a wedding ring. We'll find it.
You need to get that resized.
I know.
And
Well,
so
my guy retired. The guy who did it all.
Your ring guy retired?
My ring guy retired, man. My
I got a good
jeweler.
ring
No,
guy.
you got him in just at the right time, though. That's what feels nice.
No, it was like his last
Yes.
That's such a
His swan
Huber
song,
thing to
dude.
say.
My ring guy.
my ring
My
guy.
jeweler.
How do you resize a ring? Do they just like
From the
reforge
mines.
the whole thing?
They just take a little bit off and connect it back.
But how do you not have a seam? A weld?
I don't know, they're professionals.
You melt,
Buff it?
baby.
They're pros. I
You
don't
melt
know.
it.
I like to think that your ring was made by like dwarven smithies under a mountain somewhere.
I don't want to see myself investing in a thing that could just break again at any given moment, and nobody knows why.
But you're gonna buy if they come out with a new Switch version. You're gonna buy it.
I'm gonna wait. So, right, we know that there's a newer Switch with some new components inside. I doubt they're gonna change the analog sticks, but if they do, I'm in.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
unfortunately,
where
I
I'm
don't
at.
think there's probably any good way of knowing whether or when they.
You'll get that better battery life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a host of other weird problems.
Yeah, it just sucks.
Yeah, it's. I think it's frustrating because there's no reliable way of knowing how prevalent the issue is.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like this is more than likely affecting 3 to 5% of Joy-Cons, but
Oh, I'm gonna give it more than that.
I don't think so. I think we would be hearing a lot more about it.
How many of us
before
did it
now.
happen to? You and Ian? It's
Just
just
me.
2 out of 9.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 20%.
Yeah, almost.
I'm gonna say this happens at 20% of Joy-Cons, and more eventually. You
That's pretty crazy in terms of like severe hardware problems.
know? Yes.
I still think we would have heard a heck of a lot more about it, but maybe
We
not.
will now, though, dude. Kotaku. Spreading the word.
Yeah. Maybe it was Kotaku, maybe it was some other website where they said we asked internally, we asked around the office
think it
how
was
many
The
people had it. It
Verge.
was a lot.
Was
Is
it
The
The
Verge
Verge?
who wrote that? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they had a lot of people who had Joy-Con drift issues. Yeah.
This website says there's a lawsuit that drifting was reported by 10,000 gamers.
Yeah, Hogue did an episode about that last week. It doesn't really sound like there's a whole lot of hope for that lawsuit, but
Yeah, we don't have a lot of grounds to stand
that
on
seems
there, I
very
guess.
weird to sue someone about that.
yeah, because apparently, it's really the warranty is really all it's guaranteed for.
Yep.
Like it'll work until this point in time, and after that, it's not really.
I truly
Not
wonder
really
how long
guaranteed.
they've been aware of it, because I'm hoping that it gets fixed in the console revision. I wonder if that is something they would bother with, or just assume that it's not a big deal. I mean, there's a thing called analog stick calibration, right? In the actual settings for the Switch, they're aware of this issue. They
They'll fix
know
it.
it happens.
They'll fix it.
I hope so. In light of all this, I want to read an article from the year 2000. It's from CNET.com. Nintendo offers glove to prevent joystick injuries.
Oh, Mario Party?
Yeah, do you remember this?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I remember this.
Okay.
Kidding me, dude? My hand was destroyed.
Nintendo has agreed to provide protective sports gloves to owners of the Mario Party game after receiving numerous reports of children being injured playing the game. Nintendo's agreement to offer the gloves settles a complaint from the New York Attorney General's office, which had heard from parents of children who had suffered cuts, punctures, blisters, and friction burns on their hands because of intense joystick movements some portions of the multiplayer N64 games require. One kid got a tetanus shot, said Christy Pritchard, a spokeswoman for New York Attorney General Elliot Spitzer. The alarming thing was how little some of these children spent playing the game before they were injured, Pritchard said. One parent said their child had been playing the game for 15 to 20 minutes when they got a second-degree burn. No.
Yeah.
Dude, it was pretty bad, man. Bowser's Tug of War, are you kidding me? That ripped the flesh off my hand.
Did it really?
Dude, as Brad, like me, Brad, our friends Corey, Steven, like...
Just use your thumb.
Bowser's in our home games, dude, when we're playing against each other, no way.
Okay, so Huber, tell me if I'm out of place here, but I feel like it's kind of a point of pride. Where like,
Yeah.
you'd play that, and then you'd be like, oh, dude, look at my hand.
Yep.
And you don't get to feel that with video games a lot. You play sports,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh man,
Yeah.
I did some sport thing, and like I'm all cut up. You don't get that with video games. So when like you're playing DDR or something, and you like hurt your foot a little bit or something, it's just like, oh yeah, I put in that effort.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of cool. And like I loved the stories where people were breaking their TVs with the Wii remote.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That actually, I was already reminded of that. Remember when Nintendo replaced all the
Nintendo
straps?
Yes.
Everyone got sent straps in the mail for however many Wii remotes they purchased.
And like the big dumb condom.
Those things are awful.
Oh, those things too.
Yeah.
Those
Never
things are
use those.
awful.
Wow.
And like, ugh.
If you don't know what we're talking about, for the Wii, they released a big like rubber safe thing.
It's a condom.
Yeah, but like the head of it was like a big cushy thing, so if you did launch it, it at least wouldn't hurt somebody's head as much.
Also, you know what I just realized?
Huh.
Remember how the other day we were talking about how PS3 controllers get that weird stickiness just
Yeah.
if they're sitting around?
Yeah.
Those did that too. That kind of rubber does that. Like that. The Wii U protective condom always got all nasty time sticky.
Comments, tell us why rubber gets sticky. Tell us.
PS3 controllers like are covered in like a film.
Yeah.
I've never
After time.
seen that with the Wii remote thing, but I
It
also don't
happens,
have
blood.
one anymore.
I threw mine
so-
away. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
they're
toss
nasty.
it.
They're
Yeah,
gross.
I know we have a lot of scientists in our comments, so please let us know why they
We have
get
a lot of
sticky.
them?
Yes.
Why are they watching us?
There's a lot of fun stuff still in this article. If you called the hotline, Nintendo would tell you to play the game with your finger and thumb, your forefinger and thumb, and that's how they
for
recommend you
Mario
play.
Party?
Yeah.
Dude, Bowser's Tug of War. Lethal.
And then this is from editorial from CNET. The potentially embarrassing development comes at a critical time for Nintendo, as the company faces a renewed competition from Sony and its new PlayStation 2 console, Microsoft's upcoming Xbox gaming device, which Chairman Bill Gates will provide more details on tomorrow.
Did they
and
have a
Sega's
hyphen between
Dreamcast. They did. There's
X
a
and
hyphen.
box?
Yeah, the old
Oh
hyphen.
man,
Yeah.
the year 2000.
What did they say about Dreamcast?
Just that's the end of it. That's a more mounting competition for Nintendo. This is embarrassing for them because of the mounting competition.
Got it.
And so I like Googled like if anybody got the glove. Did anyone here get this glove?
I did not get the glove.
Never got the glove.
I
So-
didn't even have Mario Party at that point.
There's some Reddit posts about it. So what you had to do was get cut off the UPC proof of purchase and also trace your hand.
Oh, for the
The
size.
size of the glove.
They had a guy at Nintendo making custom hand gloves. Is this what Huber's ring guy was doing? In between fitting
gosh.
rings?
And it was apparently
I know,
it wasn't
dude.
branded or anything. It was just a Harbinger weightlifting glove, just like a yellow glove for lifting weights, and they would just send that to you. And
Only Nintendo.
I
so good.
I like to see that. I guess in contrast to this thing today, where they're just like really not wanting to own up to the Joy-Con drift, where they just overcorrected on the Mario Party thing. They could have just said Huber, you and your friends are dumb. Stop playing like that.
Yeah.
That's not our fault.
Yeah.
Instead, they're like, trace your
They
hand and we'll
play
send you a
tested it
glove.
probably like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, of
Trace
course.
your hand.
Yeah. And I think future Mario Party games didn't require that motion anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
They took
Yeah.
it out. I
Yeah.
remember that, yeah.
It's funny.
Okay. As a big company like Nintendo, there's probably you probably hear like small outcries like this like all the time, constantly. They're just numb, man.
Yeah.
They're just numb.
Maybe they are just numb by now. They've been through it. They put out
I'm
the
joking,
sticky condoms. But,
they're-
yeah.
they can't function that way. But
Yeah.
I think it's just a matter of, either like you said, they'll fix it silently with the controllers themselves, or they've got to find that right solution. And they haven't really gotten there yet.
I'm scared it's that, man. I'm scared they actually don't know why they're drifting still.
But
mean, if
because I just think the main issue is just, if it's big enough of a problem, then they've got to deal with people that are out of warranty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you compare the Joy-Con size-wise to like a PS4 controller or whatever, like it is pretty amazing all the stuff they packed into that tiny little thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gotta be tough.
Apparently, Contact Cleaner will fix it for a while. And I'm thinking about just trying that, just cleaning them up. And I guess it saves you like a few weeks or something, and then it'll come back. But you just kind of
that's cute. That reminds me of just cleaning up NES cartridges.
Yeah.
Just get them to work.
yeah, hey, not bad. It's time for love and respect.
Love and respect.
This is a segment in which our patrons write us topics, questions, games, things they would like for us to talk about on this very podcast. Let's, because that one was just a lot of me reading, let's have the panelists talk about something for a sec. Let's give you like a juicy one to just bite into. Okay. All right. Yeah, you know what? This one's pretty juicy. And then we'll do that one because that one's fun too. Okay, this is from Not a Robot. In last episode of Frame Trap, you, Kyle, started a conversation about the game design of Borderlands and how it basically amounts to grinding for loot in order to grind for more loot. This fixation on self-contained progression systems has been a trend in games for a while now, and I feel it's a topic that deserves more attention, especially in regards to the whole gambling loot box discussion. So let me start with this harmless statement. And this is where I'm like, buddy, I don't know. Being fun should not be the main objective of a game.
Buddy, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Fun is a vague concept and rarely understood, even by designers. Games can achieve it by challenging us to look at the world from a new perspective, by training our motoric and cognitive skills, promoting creativity, creating social interactions, telling immersive stories, teaching us how to think differently, or they can just trick our stupid human brains with pointless dopamine loops that make us repeat meaningless objectives for a false sense of accomplishment. Your first impulse might be to think that all games are ultimately pointless and never amount to real accomplishments anyway, but if you look at the historical prevalence of play or how animals play to learn, grow, and socialize, this certainly is not the case. The conversation shouldn't be about whether or not a game is fun, but rather about what the game is ultimately trying to accomplish with it. Is it just wasting our time, or does it offer something more meaningful as well? To package all this into a question for the panel, will we ever see game reviews that state this game is extremely fun but ultimately pointless 5 out of 10? Is that something you'd even want to see? And then, Not a Robot even wrote some more. It frustrates me to no end that the gambling and loot box discussions are always solely tied to certain types of monetization, yet games like Borderlands or Diablo get a free pass because their loot mechanics are only stealing our time, not our money. People are ready to storm the games of any developer with loot box microtransactions, yet the exact same mechanics for free are not just acceptable, but actually beloved. Is our time really that cheap? The panel.
I don't even know what this person is asking.
Yeah, I don't even know
There's a
what
lot
is
there.
happening.
I mean,
I love this question.
the one thing I would say in terms of Borderland design-wise is saying that like you're just grinding for better loot. Like, that's like hardcore like end game players that are just like gonna just keep going back to that game over and over and over again. Like people that like want to do that raid boss where you can't even see how much health you took away when you shoot it, like because it's gonna take shooting it 500 times before you see that tick come off. So yeah, I don't know. Like there's definitely those aspects, but like I think for probably more people, like they're going to play through that game, go through the story, get whatever weapons they get as they go through the story, pick their favorites, check their favorites, and like brag about the crazy thing that they got that most people have never seen before, and then maybe do it a couple more times with the different character classes, but probably not get too into that giant monster that, you know, is just going to be a huge pain in the butt and take you 3 hours to kill.
I think this question is trying to be far too reductive, despite how much is brought up here. And I think trying to place the loot box conversation on top of this is makes it a little bit messier. And what I mean by this is he's talking about things, the grind for progression or getting new things. I think he's focusing on that, and that can be really easy to do. You can reduce games very easily if you want to, but when you take games in total, so I believe he mentioned like Diablo there.
Diablo 3 was in there, yeah.
Sure. So like I think about my experience playing Diablo 1 for the first time. Yes, I enjoyed getting new loot. Yes, I enjoyed getting new abilities, but those were experiences that I could get in any other game. It was a good foundation, but what really made my heart sing with Diablo was the town of Tristram, was the Deckard Cain, was encountering the Butcher for the first time and feeling really intimidated. Like these are worlds that are constructed that there are specific moments and characters and places and music that I can recall that make this an above average thing. I'm not just playing it because it's a loot game. I'm playing it because I love the world that they've created. It just happens to have a loot game in there. And so I don't think that really, like, yeah, I guess it's like pointless. Like, no, I'm not changing the world, but there's value beyond that progression.
I think that, like, I agree, yeah. And I think kind of the first part of this question is, I think fun is too simplistic of a term when it comes to games, and I think fulfilling would be a better word. It's like, if you don't feel as though your time is being wasted, if you're having a fulfilling moment while playing a game, it's a success. And like you can be fulfilled without necessarily having fun. Like I've grinded for hours and hours and hours in Diablo 3, and I love seeing the numbers go up, you know, and like I feel fulfilled. And I'm like, Diablo is a weird example because it's like I'm not having like fun. I'm enjoying myself, you know, but I'm not like, whoa, shoot, look at this, oh my God, you know, all the time. Also, like, to the second part of this question, why people get upset about money being applied to similar gameplay styles and they don't get upset over time is the question I think asks, like, do we really value our time so little? Yeah. Like, I think it's clear that human beings on the whole value money more than their own time.
I think it just depends
backwards,
on,
but
yeah.
I mean, like, think about
It's true.
But I mean, like, think about how much time you spend just like laying in bed looking at a phone, and then like if it cost you 25 cents a minute to do that, you wouldn't, you know. Whereas like your life, you know, you're not getting any more of that. So,
I guess I take issue with like getting hung up on people calling something fun. It's like that's just how people talk. Like not in every social circumstance are you gonna like want to sit there and be like, okay, let me tell you about this video and let me break it down. Here are all the individual mechanics. Here's the storyline. Here's the lore. Here's what you need to know. But like, no one has time to do that all the time. Like sometimes somebody's like, hey, do you like this? And you're like, yeah, it's cool or it's fun. Like it's just shorthand. Like that's gonna happen. You can't get so hung up on that in every instance.
I have a weird comparison I'm ready to make. Just hopped into my mind. So, the way I see it as there are many ways to manipulate our stupid human minds. Like, yeah, that's just there. And you know, like loot boxes can be considered gambling, though the UK just determined it is not. That's a whole other story, man. In relation to the EA thing that we talked about a few weeks ago when they were embarrassing themselves, they determined that it's not gambling because there's no money involved. It's like, okay, fine. It's still hurting people. And it does at some points. But anyway, gambling works on human minds. We just love it. We love being lucky. We love rolling a dice and having a big number come up. It's just something that just sparks our chemicals. And so I do.
I feel like there's got to be stakes though.
That's where I'm going. That's where
Yes.
I'm going.
Okay.
Is there are like pop producers who just think they get how to make music. They get all the rules right, and they're just like, I know how to make pop music. I can make the dance floor dance. But like, there's nobody who gets it right every time. You know what I mean? There's still like something to making a song. You can be like the greatest pop producer of all time and just nonstop hits, and like sometimes you just put out a song that sucks. And I feel like the same way with games, with making fun, is there are ways that manipulate you. Like I'd say to everyone at this table, like Diablo manipulates us, Borderlands manipulates us. We have some fun because we're rolling dice and getting big numbers.
I think you could say that even about, like, you could say Mario manipulates you.
Yeah, you can say about any game.
You for sure can.
He is saying that.
Yeah, I am, and in fact, I am saying that. Yes, but it can't just be that.
Right.
And that's like
That's
the
what I'm
art.
trying to
that's
say.
the art of making the song, and that's the
Yeah.
art of making the game. Is that there has to be more to it, and there is, and that's why those games work and sell.
Yeah, I think that's what I was trying to say about the other aspects of Diablo that really attached it to me, because like you could watch somebody play Mario and be like, you only went after that coin because the designer they're manipulating you,
And that's true.
You're a puppet on their strings.
It's
but
for the
like,
noise. Yeah.
right, but. Like you could say that about storytelling and going to a movie where it was like, oh, you only want the bad guy to lose because the writer of the story programmed it into you. It's like, I think when you're seeking entertainment, on some level, you're looking to be manipulated in one way or another. You want to feel something. You want to walk away with something. It's not a negative thing.
I agree completely. That's what entertainment is. It's like the desire to have your emotions manipulated because you want to be distracted from life. Like, that's what it is.
It's true. Like when this podcast ends with the very same song that it begins with, we're manipulating you. I'm sorry, that's just part of it. It's just like
I do that in video game reviews. I'll use a song for the first paragraph and the same song for the last paragraph, just so you like get that little cue of like full circle. Here's the thing, like that's just 101.
yeah. And go ahead, Ben.
I think what makes the loot box conversation more difficult, and I do think it's hard to maybe talk about these two things in conjunction with each other, is that like when you play games that feel like they have nothing to offer beyond it, where every single step that you're taking is just a way to get you to spend more money, that is different than something where even if you're being manipulated or going to try to get loot or whatever, like it's not like you have a giant window necessarily flashing in front of your face being like you don't have the stamina to continue. Like that's a very different thing. That is it's like hard and soft roadblocks right in game design. And I think what is so upsetting about kind of the microtransaction conversation is like you are in some instances literally barred from playing.
Yes.
And that makes it a very different conversation.
Yeah. Even these Nintendo mobile games. Yeah, and in Borderlands' defense, I do want to say this. When I was recently playing through 2 with a friend who was much lower level than I was, I was having a really good time when all of the loot was bad and I didn't have to worry about a thing. It's actually fun to play that game without the loot mechanic. And so there is something there beyond it's rolling the dice, feeling lucky kind of thing.
Yeah, because there's like a story. You're playing with your friend.
Yeah. Well, and like I was saying earlier, there are just times that like I've got guns that I like right now, so I'm not like there'll be plenty of times where I'll pick up a gun in Borderlands that got higher stats and I shoot it. And like, I don't like the way that feels.
Yeah, but that won't work forever, Blood. Eventually, that gun will be bad and you'll get owned if you don't upgrade.
Yeah, sometimes, but sometimes I'll like still save
Always.
it.
That's why I
Still
love.
put it in the vault. Keep that gun. I like that gun.
I just love getting like
For the
max
next character,
or like
maybe.
near max level in like Destiny, because then you don't have to worry about constantly
That's what I was gonna
cycling
say,
shit
yeah.
out.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
Then you get like a gun like every couple days or something, and you're like, all right, yes.
I like that way better, to be honest. I hate the loops, dude.
I really like in games. Resident Evil 4 popped to my mind. Like, not the perfect example of this, but I like in games where you can get a gun that you like and then upgrade it.
Yeah, Red 9.
I really like that.
So like Monster Hunter is interesting. So like playing Monster Hunter World recently and being like, oh man, like I just have to keep killing things and maybe I'll get decorations that I want, or I'll get a bunch of stuff that I don't, or like maybe I'll get the stream stone that I need, or I won't.
Yeah.
And it gets annoying where it's like I have no idea. It's not like do this thing, put in a bunch of work and you'll get it. It's just you have a chance to get it. And it's frustrating getting the exact thing that I want but for a completely different weapon. But underpinning that, the reason why I keep playing is because the basic act of hunting is still a challenge. It's still fun. Like, that's just a consequence. It's not the reason that I'm doing it. Like, I want those things. I'm chasing after those things. But if I wasn't having any fun doing the hunts, and when you talk about the fun there, right, trying to stay away from that word, it's like, well, these monsters these monsters have unique behaviors. They're in environments where you have to worry about different things, where you have different tools. Like, yeah, you can reduce it to just this grind, but you're completely neglecting the part of the game where you're spending the most time anyway. I don't know.
This next question is this is fun too. We got some fun stuff today. Ben, I think that's the right point. And not a robot. Sorry to trash on somebody's question like that, like we did openly. I think it was a good question, like Ian said. I think you have some really interesting ideas in there, but also some very offensive ideas. Leo S. Luna. Here we go. Greetings, guys. I keep hearing that the very anticipated Hideo Kojima game, Death Stranding, will be very divisive among fans and critics. And I'd like to ask the panel, if the game does not achieve expectations, what aspects could possibly go wrong with Death Stranding? I'm one guy who prefers to buy the game after reviews and watching some gameplay, but at the moment, I'm not entirely convinced with the game. Not every veteran artist makes a great hit after moving along. Love and respect, kind of what we were just talking about. But here's the question. What could go wrong with Death Stranding?
The story.
Anything.
The story.
Anything could go wrong?
I think
Yeah.
the potentially open world aspects. I've definitely when seeing people commenting about those trailers, people worrying about it being too empty feeling.
I think if the story hits, everyone's fine.
What could go wrong with the story? That was your first thought immediately.
People just don't like the character. It's like too ambiguous. Like everyone at the end is just like, huh? Like the whole way through it is just one of those weird puzzle boxes where like not necessarily it doesn't make sense, but it's just like super vague and like weird to be weird and confusing. And
It's so funny that that's what I'm hoping for.
But I feel
What-
like
what could-
that will make the game divisive, and I think bug a certain camp of people. But I think if the story is a success, I think that's all that really matters with Death Stranding. I don't know. I think the game and the gameplay is obviously going to be crazy and weird and new and awesome and cool, hopefully. But I still think the way the game has been advertised, the man that Hideo Kojima is, the film people he's partnered with, and the actors, like everything about this game just screams film and story. And I think that's like people's main expectation. And that's also kind of scary, and why people maybe aren't super invested yet is because we know so little about that story. We have nobody to attach ourselves to. We have nobody to get hyped for. Like,
So that's what's funny, because Hubert, all of his discussions prior to us really seeing the game, when he talks about what type of game it is with our sticks and ropes, to me, that's like raw gameplay stuff.
Yeah.
I honestly think there's going to be a lot of raw gameplay to
Definitely,
this.
definitely,
And I'm
definitely.
almost worried that like the cutscenes will be Breath of the Wild style.
really?
Just kind of sort of like unrelated to what's really
Pretty
happening.
brief.
They just
Get
happen.
back into the game.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any guarantee that the story is going to like connect in a way that really registers with you or that you care about. And I think it's the same with the gameplay. I think that's what makes Death Stranding so exciting. Like, I don't think that's a negative thing. It's kind of great going into a game and not being able to easily compare it to something, not knowing what is going to come out of it, not knowing what the story is even trying to say. But I think when you have anything that is that open-ended, of course you have a potential for it not working out.
Could you foresee? Go ahead, Ian.
Oh, I was sorry, I didn't mean to jump in. I had a thought. I don't think this. I want to be very clear on that, but I was wondering if there's like a lingering worry in people's minds, since this is the first Kojima Productions game since the Kojima insanity. I'm wondering if part of people's minds are just wondering, like, what if Kojima was the one who went off the deep end? Like, what if I'm not saying I think that, but I'm wondering if people, because we don't know that story. We have no idea. And this is the first one he's like got to prove himself.
I think
again.
exactly what you're saying is
You know?
why I'm not looking forward to internet conversations about
Yeah.
Death Stranding.
Oh
Yeah.
man, they're gonna be brutal.
It's going to be so weird.
I knew Kojima was bad all along.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Metal Gear Survive is actually pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And it's just like
That's what's coming for us. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's going to
I
be
mean,
asinine, dude.
I think that's where the evidence kind of stacks up against it not being Kojima's
for
fault.
sure,
Is
for
that there's so many other people that have left and things that have happened, and
Absolutely. And the stories about turning off the lights and
Right.
yeah. I'm not saying I think that. I was just like, it's an unknown. You know, he hasn't been outside of Kojima in a while.
But
or Konami.
What could kill this game though, is if the baby cries like Baby Mario in Yoshi's Island.
Yeah. Blood? Absolutely, dude. If it's like, oh, I'm out, man.
Yeah, you start getting close to monsters, and you're just like,
I just think
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think from people's perspectives that are like on the fence for this game, you know.
Uh,
and I think if the story grabs them, they will put through any faults that the game may have in gameplay or anything. They'll just, I want to see what happens next. But if that story doesn't grab them, if they're like, what is this? Who are you? I don't know. What the hell? I don't care about you. Like, let's just get back to the game.
I don't
You know?
I think if you have a game as high profile as Death Stranding with a creator as high profile as Hideo Kojima, I don't think you can just have the story be good and have it not be divisive. Like
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to work in a broad sense. I do think there will be a lot of people that enjoy it and go to bat for it, but I think it will be a contentious topic for sure.
I think just a quick one.
Yeah.
I think another thing that people might not love is if it's just trying to be Metal Gear Solid again. If it's just like a bunch of soldiers and then a 45-minute cutscene and then some sneaking and then a cutscene and then some soldiers and if it's like just trying to hit the same boxes, people will be bummed, I think. Like weirdness, sure, on top of it, but like, yeah.
Quite honestly, it looks more like Metal Gear than I thought it would. For sure.
Same. Like that second or third trailer that had the soldiers on top of the bridge with the tanks and stuff. I'm like, okay, we're still in that kind of realm.
And I mean, our
okay.
first gameplay thing where we are sneaking around and there are guards who notice us suddenly. Yeah.
But he did invent another genre. This is stranding action or whatever.
And I mean, we got a motorcycle as well.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of that, dude. Media blackout.
I
Oh,
feel
sorry, dude.
I
No,
feel
it's
like if
good.
you were to like describe PT on paper, it would sound really underwhelming.
Yes.
Like if you were to like
Haunted
actually not like hey, you just keep going in the same hallway
even
over and
the
over
PT
again.
trailer sucked.
Right, and it's like, oh, and there's like it's really hard to figure out what to do, and you'll just eventually reach a point where you don't know what's like. I think there is a way you could present it just kind of matter of factly where it doesn't really sound all that exciting, but it is the kind of almost intangible experience of it is the way all those things come together. It is how different it is. That is my hope for Death Stranding.
Yeah.
Is that it's not what you and Ian are describing, where it's like, this is Metal Gear again. It is, I can't understand why I like this until I play it because it's so different. That's what I want.
That's my hope as well.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, if it ends with Norman Reedus waking up at the beginning of the game, I will hate it. I will hate that game. If it's one of those, you wake up, it's the beginning.
But what if
of
he
it
wakes
was a
up in the
loop.
beginning of the game and then, but like one little thing is like,
That's a
askew?
story mechanic that is
What
almost
if-
never done well.
Never, dude.
One little, like the clock says like a different day or something. I don't know.
What if he explicitly wakes up in a Target and there is the branding for Target in there?
Thump, thump, thump. Yeah. I love
And
that
he
for my life.
you know what? It ends with
him
he's
shopping in
naked.
Target.
He's naked in Target.
Yeah.
And he's eating the Target branded gummy worms.
And he turns to his right and sees a Target hoodie and he just says, "Finally, I'm home."
I would very much appreciate that ending. It would affect me.
Yeah.
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 That game comes out this year. It's still very, very excited about
Doesn't
it.
that sound crazy?
It sounds
we
very
were all
crazy.
like, we'll play Death
so
Stranding
cool.
someday.
Yeah.
It's coming out soon.
Thank God, dude. Give me
Yeah.
something new, something fresh.
I'm going to do
Astral
another
Chain.
real quick one. This one's a shout out. I like when people give me a shout out to a game that I've totally been ignoring. Journey's sequel, Sky, Children of Light, just released, and it's the looter shooter I've been waiting for. Allow me to
What?
elaborate. I like Destiny, I tried Destiny, The Division, Warframe, even Dauntless, but quickly fell off. I wanted to like them. I was intrigued by their zeitgeist, their communities, and the opportunity to play multiplayer adventure without getting as overwhelmed as many MMOs. I wanted to explore, discover secret areas, and uncover lore about this world, but soon realized that that wasn't the point of these games. When Sky Children of the Light was announced, I was already excited, but I never realized that it would scratch the looter-shooter itch that had been eluding me. In Sky, the looting is lighting candles, discovering new spirits, and meeting new in-game friends, and the shooting is simply jumping, gliding, and skating through this beautiful world on your way to the next objective. Like other looter shooters, it's free, which is great, but with microtransactions, season passes, and some noticeable bugs. But despite all of this, I have been adoring every minute I've played with this game so far. I have seen very little coverage of this game online, despite being the sequel to one of the most beloved games of the last decade. So I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Love and respect, Scott.
I've been waiting for somebody to sell me on this game.
Me too.
Because when I saw that it was mobile, I was like, skip.
I think that's it.
Not saying
Yeah.
There you go.
Mobile, like,
Scott, that's the reason.
Not
Yeah.
mobile,
Yeah.
Apple only. For
Apple
right
mobile?
now.
Wow.
It's only on iPhone and iPad right now. Coming to other stuff later.
Well, there's your reason, right?
Console
Will
Those
it be on
PCs.
Switch or PS4 like next year? Because that's when
I think
I'll play.
the thing I saw said like PCs and consoles like coming.
All right,
Okay.
I'll just wait.
We'll wait. Scott, we'll wait.
yeah.
Is
Cool.
it officially a sequel?
No,
No.
it is not.
No.
It was a spiritual successor. Yeah,
Yeah.
we should call it that.
It's funny because I feel like comparing it to looter shooters
It's really funny.
does not sell me.
It's not at all, but I think that's how Scott got us interested, right?
Yeah, just saying he got a similar sensation, but like when I think of Journey, that I don't.
Hey, we had fun in Division 2.
Absolutely, I'm
Yeah, a lot of
I'm
fun.
not saying that like I don't. It's not that I don't like looter shooters or I'm against the idea, but like Journey was this emotional experience,
Yeah.
and you're like, man, I wanted to get into Destiny, but Sky was it. It's like that's hard for me to. That seems like I'm not
The
getting
shooting
what I want.
was jumping.
Yeah.
No,
I don't know.
what I
it's,
do
it's
get,
just confusing.
what I think is really exciting about looter shooters is sharing the environment with your friends.
Yeah,
I think they're not as
sure.
fun alone, and so I really think that's what this is about too. Is just exploring these big environments. Like, oh, I'm gonna go over here. How are you doing over there? Come over here. Check this out. Like that is what's most appealing about that type of game, I believe. And so it's fun to see that in an environment where there is no shooting at all, where it's not just about like leveling up. It's about lighting candles apparently. And so like I don't know. I think that's what he's saying is like the raw appeal, the thing that I liked about looter shooters or wanted to like
Gotcha.
is in this game.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
Sweet. Wait for the console version.
Yeah, afraid so. I just don't want to be wiping my phone. It's time for bets. Next week's bet. Fire Emblem 3 Houses will be released Friday, July 26th. I'm going to look at the top 10 most recent reviews. How many times will I see the word anime? Daniel Bloodworth.
I'm gonna start it off with 6.
Ben Moore.
3.
Michael Huber.
1.
I'm going 4. Ian Hink.
I also said 6.
Okay, let me lock those in. 6 is going to be a lot. I'm going to have to read the word anime a lot.
6 is a lot.
I think that it could be in one a couple of times, and then
Oh, that person who does anime
Yeah, I mean,
5
it-
times. Yeah, it's
yeah.
happening.
One of my favorite usages of the word anime.
Yep,
Anime-inspired cutscenes.
it's
That's one
happening.
of your favorite.
Love anime-inspired cutscenes.
anime inspired doesn't even like
Yeah.
that's weird.
It is.
I feel like that is my aesthetic, is anime inspired.
Anime-inspired.
That's everything I do is anime inspired.
It's funny when
feel like-
something means anime inspired literally just means anime.
yeah.
I feel like when
Well, that-
people say anime inspired, what they're trying to say in a polite way is dumb. Like
Yeah.
like oh, this is super convoluted or wacky or over the top. I feel like that's what they're trying to say.
I think so too.
And I don't know if that terminology is like the best.
To me, anime inspired almost like it almost implies that it's coming from a Western developer, like
Sure.
saying like, and I don't know. No,
Yeah, I
that's
hear
not
you.
even.
I'm
I
trying
don't
to
know.
think of the
It's
last time I
weird.
heard
Like Dust in Elysian Tale.
anime-inspired.
Yeah, anime inspired, right?
For sure.
Well, there's a lot of Code Vein is anime Dark Souls.
Yeah.
No, they're trying not to be anime, Ben.
Oh, is that true? We've been calling it anime this whole
No,
time.
no, no. I mean, the Bandai Namco messaging is like we're trying not to be too anime.
Really?
And
Oh,
like
gotcha,
it's,
gotcha.
And it's like,
And
have
they
you
ended up
seen
doing
your
it.
characters, you
there's
maniac?
no way that you can.
The hot springs found their way back in. Last week's bet. Oh, we can only do one of the two because absolutely nobody tweeted me the back of the box for Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
So you're just negating a whole bet?
No, we're just delaying it another week until somebody tweets it at me.
Do we
Please.
have it in the building right
No, we don't have a physical
Kyle
copy.
just has to go to a store or something.
I'm not going to a store, please.
Dude, I'm sure they have so many at Target.
No.
So many copies.
You're right, I should just go to Target. Another excuse. Bring a little notepad. I'm just here for my bets. But the one we can do, it was last week's bet, which is Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, released last Friday, which was July 19th, with subtitles on. How long would we have to wait to play the game until we saw our first exclamation point? Blood, you bet 14 seconds. Damiani bet 60. Brad bet 25. I bet 4. Ian bet 0. Huber, you're playing this game. How long was it?
I have no clue, dude. Like, could be 10 seconds, could be 10 minutes.
Ben, you played this. How long was it until the first exclamation point?
I don't know, man.
It was 11 seconds.
I didn't even know this bet existed.
And it was funny. It's the second line, but you see space for a while. We hang on space.
Nice.
And that is why Daniel Bloodworth won this week's bet.
I've never played a video game going in being like, there's the first exclamation. That was about 13 seconds. Never done that.
Never? Really? Never? That brings our scores to Scrappy Little Pig 16. Wah, wah. Gorgeous Gorillas 13. Welcome to the teens, Gorillas.
Yeah, whoa, we fell off. You guys have scored a bunch in a row?
Yeah. Jones and I had a good few weeks there.
We need to hit Huber.
We've got
Huber
this
energy.
delayed box art thing now, though.
Yes. Please send it to me. I think I really made people upset with the feet, counting the shoes on the Kingdom Hearts 3. And I think people legitimately said, I'm not playing this with you anymore. I'm not doing this
Make
for you
sure
anymore.
you like get super like zoomed in, like huge, like because it's so hard to pick out the details.
That's the
when people
thing,
say-
right? If you send me one picture of the back of the box, nobody can read it. And so, yeah, we need several pictures
not
of
playing
different
with
parts
you
of the back of the
anymore.
box. Let me tell everyone about patreon.com/easyallies. That is how the Easy Allies exist, persist, resist, and insist that you at least go to this website. When you go there, you'll see all the kinds of things we do. It's not just podcasts. It's, we do live streams, we do reviews, we do goofy things, we do very serious things. We do all sorts of things, and there are benefits for you. If you're a $5 patron or up, you get this podcast on Wednesdays instead of Fridays. You get a lot of shows early. So worth checking out that website. Again, patreon.com/easyallies.
We got sponsor slots open.
Wide
So
open.
if you want to be a sponsor,
Yeah, we
For
also
Easy
have
Allies.
Friend Traps slots open.
If you want
Boom.
Jones to pitch whatever you're selling, check that
to
out.
read your words in that smooth Jones voice.
He could also you can ask for not smooth if you want.
Yeah.
Just say not smooth. He'll know what it
Not
means.
smooth. He'll know. He'll know.
I almost want to just be a sponsor for a month just to write something
Yeah, I know.
really
I know the feeling.
intense
Yeah.
for Jones to say.
Yes.
Michael
But
And you just stand there and look at him.
Yeah.
But like multiple parts, like different inflections. Like, all right, here's the low, deep growl. Here's the anime-inspired character.
Yes.
Oh my God! Please make
Difference.
Jones read something in an anime-inspired voice and see his take on it.
He's
Oh.
good. You remember when we VO'd that Gundam game? Jones gets it.
I don't remember.
He knows how to do
So
anime.
remind me.
Okay. It was that Gundam fighting game.
The sponsors, Kyle.
Oh, gotcha. Remind us, sponsors. There's no other way we can find out. I did one last thing before I hand it over to Blood. Glenny's Cauldron Jam has concluded. It's over. We know which game implemented Glenny's ingredients the best while staying the most fun. Check out, Google Glenny's Cauldron Jam. You can
Staying
see
the most fun was as a priority.
there's
huh?
two criteria, yeah. It was integration of ingredients and fun despite itself. Because the thing is, Blood, if you just make a game with a bunch of sucky things in it, nobody's going to play it, and Glenny doesn't get off. Like, she takes pleasure in people staying in the game that has the bad things in it. So that's sort of how that works.
You just said it.
I did say it.
What the
I was just trying to roll right through. I was just trying to go. It's like you're in the cafeteria and your milk falls off your tray and you just keep walking. It's like, I don't want it. Okay. And we'll be live streaming the winner and anyone else we can get into our live group stream next week. All right.
What
Daniel
is
Bloodworth.
this weekend though?
Bloodworth has an option to promote something.
Okay.
It's important enough that we
pretty
take it
important.
away from him. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
let's
important.
lock this in and make sure. it
Yeah, I
happens.
mean, I would do it anyway. So just do
Yes.
it. Yeah.
This weekend, Huber, you promote this. Let's hear your Huber voice. Your best Huber promo.
This weekend.
Yeah.
All 9 out. No. Did I do it wrong? 8 of 9. Immediately. All right.
8 of 9.
John's
we
still
go.
on paternity leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This weekend, 8/9 of the Allies descend on a summer beach house to get sweaty
Airdrop.
and to game for hashtag all 50. Are we doing all 50 again?
We're doing 50.
We're doing 50.
Hashtag all 50.
But the hashtag is not all 50.
Yeah, no. Hashtag not all 50.
Hashtag not all 50. Get some rest. But this weekend, we're doing easy living round 3 now?
Round 3, baby.
Round 3. Easy living. It's going to be all 8 of 9 allies. We're going to be gaming hard for 50 hours straight. So
Yeah,
check
but
out.
we have sleep breaks as well.
Yeah, sleep
We
breaks.
want to all be there. All
There's
the
no
same time.
crunch, so get some rest.
Well, technically, we didn't know if Huber was going to be back, so you weren't scheduled for
Yeah.
sleep.
Don't worry.
So Huber could hashtag all 50.
Exactly.
I wonder how many people are going to be playing Fire Emblem while watching us.
I bet a lot.
A lot.
We're a second screen experience.
If that preview is
Dude,
any indication, a
grinding.
lot.
We're a second.
grinding Fire Emblem on the side while watching Easy Living sounds so jolly.
Before we move on to Bloodworth getting the microphone,
And the
I want
professional.
everybody to say what game you're most excited to play at Easy Living.
I've got it locked and loaded.
Okay, let's start with Huber.
Alien Isolation.
I'm shocked by that.
Number one hyped.
Cool.
Cannot wait to play that
Excellent,
with you guys.
excellent.
Cannot wait.
Blood, what are you most anticipating?
I think I'm gonna go with Crash Team Racing.
Nice.
Yeah, that I just wanted to do that. I started the adventure mode when the game came out, and then I just didn't get back. Oh, I got sucked into Bloodstain, is what happened.
Oh, okay, makes sense.
Understandable.
Blood and I will be playing through the entirety of adventure mode. Ben, what are you most excited about?
Man, there's a couple of things, but I think I'm most excited to show off Klonoa 1 on PS1.
Nice. I'm excited for Rugrats Search for Reptar.
Kyle,
I'm really
I-
pumped for that.
I don't know if I'll be able to, but I played that game. I had the game, and so I'd love to. I haven't revisited it since I was a kid. so
Is
it'd
this
be
the one
fun.
with mini golf on the back of the box?
I don't remember.
feel like
I
I've-
had it when I was so young,
I know.
man.
I feel like I've picked it up and said I'm too cool for this, but I really want to play this. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like there was a moment where like, oh man, this looks so fun, but I'm a cool teenager now. Sorry.
And then now you're cool 30-year-old man who's
my
the
cool
cycles.
30s. Ian Hink.
Mario Maker, maybe? And also, I'm excited to check out Adventures of Cookies and Cream, because just like, what the hell?
Sure. All right, Daniel Bloodworth, you won this week's bet. You get the right and responsibility to share your Twitter handle with the world. You get to promote any Easy Eyes video you would like to promote. You get to sign off with your trademark sign off, and you get the final word. Anything you've disagreed with, want to reiterate, or just popped into your head, take it away.
Yeah, my Twitter handle is @dbloodworth2. We already covered Easy Living, so yeah, that's definitely the thing to look forward to. So we'll see you this
How
weekend.
can I find it if I miss it?
So we also have a secondary channel, youtube.com/EasyAlliesPlays. And I'll probably try to start uploading some archives from that, like somewhere on like the second day or Sunday or something like. So yeah, either late Saturday or Sunday, I'll start moving that stuff over there. So
Cool.
you may be able to see some in the beginning before the weekend is up,
Neat.
even though we'll still be live.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, last week I did a patron pitch, and I went pretty well with it. I think Jones went pretty well. But there was one person who took a little bit of offense, and we had a little conversation in the YouTube comments, and they basically took it as I was, giving all the credit to the people that have given a lot of money, and like didn't value the people that have been giving $1 or $5, and that's not my intention at all.
No.
All of those people are amazing. Everyone that's given $1, if you've just been giving $1 for 3 years, that's awesome. That's actually a lot of dollars when you add it up. And I totally, I believe very much in the power of numbers, and like that's kind of my dream one day would be like, we just run this whole company and everyone's just giving $1, and that would be awesome. So I wanted to clarify that. and encourage you to join the Patreon and keep everything running and keep us growing. And we'll see you before the next blood moon rises.
What I'm not a humongous fan of is Final Fantasy VII. What I am a huge fan of is marketing campaigns.
Sexy.